Hello everybody, today we start with the next chapter of biology, that is endocrine system. So after the nervous system, the next chapter what we are studying is endocrine system of standard 10th ICSE. Now in our body we have got two kind of coordinations taking place. One is the mechanical coordination, that is okay, the movement of the hands and everything, so the brain is giving the information about when to lift a particular hand or when, how to move, how to stand up, how to balance yourself. So that thing is the done by the nervous system. And another one is taking care of all the chemicals, that is the chemical constituents of our body. So that is the process by which the hormones or the chemical coordination of the body which is going to take place is going to be done with the help of the endocrine system. So endocrine system is going to take care of all the hormonal coordination, or we can say the enzyme secretion, what is going to take place in your body, that is going to be taken care of by the endocrine system. So endocrine, first of all, endocrine means which is the internal part. So it is like the one which is going to be a specialized kind of glands which are there internally inside. Endocrine means inside or separate, okay, inside and separate. Endocrine means inside and separate. So it is going to be separate in a way that it is not connected to the bloodstream directly. It is going to be a ductless gland. Okay, so endocrine gland, that's why called as a ductless gland, because there are no ducts. They are not direct ducts कि हाँ जो यहाँ से निकला और वो ये pathway निकला. नहीं, it is being ductless gland which is going to give away its hormones directly to the blood without any ducts, and then it is going to pass into the different parts of the body. So let's see in detail about the chapter now. Now, need for regulation of body activities. So first of all, why do we need the regulation of the body activities? Why can't it be possible that we don't require any body activity at all? We definitely require some kind of regulations which will keep our body का जितना भी constituents है in a proper manner, so that we can have a proper metabolism of ours and we can be ready for any kind of emergencies. Yeah, so that is how it works. So the activity in our body are highly complex and they need to be so regulated that every activity takes place at a proper time and in a correct sequence. For example, the gastric juice, bile juice and pancreatic juice should be poured into the food canal only when the food is in it. Though this kind of regulation is done by some extent by the nervous system, it is also brought about by chemical regulators called hormones. So hormone to stir up or to excite or to put into action. So as an example is given you that you are going to produce, the body is going to produce gastric juice, it is going to give the pancreatic juice or the bile juice, everything is going to come up into the body only when the food is there in the stomach. Without the food being in the stomach, there will not be any generation of this gas of this particular juices. This is because there is a coordination that okay, ये आया तो ये होना है. Okay, it is like if this particular condition is there, only then there will be a reaction done by the body. So accordingly, the food acts as a stimulus. Okay, the food acts as a stimulus, and accordingly the gland, that is the gastric juice, the glands of the stomach which produce the gastric juice are going to give you the reaction, or you can say the response to the stimulus of the food entering into the body. So that is why, of course, this is done by the nervous system, but there are many other things which is going to be done, taken care of by the endocrine glands, or we can say the hormones. So chemical regulators of our body are hormones. So hormones are basically the one which is going to stir up or excite the thing. So hormone is something to excite or to put into action. 7 major differences in the action of nervous system and the hormones in the regulatory mechanism is listed on in the table below. So let's see the table. What are the differences? Hormonal control and nervous control. Hormonal control is usually slow. Okay, it is very slow. It is not like fast acting. It is a slow. Usually, not always, but yeah, usually most of the things are slow process. Whereas nervous control is immediate, rapid. Because nervous control कैसा है? मेरे सामने कुछ आ रहा है तो suddenly I put my hand over there or I close my eyes. So that is a sudden process. It's something which is going to be very rapid. Hormone control transmitted chemically through the body. So yeah, the hormones are going to be transmitted chemically through the body, through the blood. Whereas the nervous control is transmitted electrochemically through the nerve fibers and chemically through synapse, across synapse. Hormone control affects different organs widespread in the body, whereas nervous control affects only the particular muscle or the gland. Okay, so in case of a hormone system, it is possible that something like the beating of the heart is going to increase, okay, by a gland of endocrine which is located near the kidney. So heart यहाँ पे, kidney यहाँ पे, फिर भी वो वहाँ पे affect कर रहा है. So it is going to be like it is not going to be centered across a particular kind of organ only. Whereas in case of nervous control, it is very much within that particular muscle and gland. Okay, यहाँ वो उसी area में it is going to be controlling. Effects of hormone control is short-term or long-lasting, depending upon what kind of hormone it is. It could be short-term or long-lasting. Whereas the nervous control effect is particular are always only short-lived. Hormone control can affect growth. Nervous control cannot affect growth. Yeah, if there is a lack of certain hormone, your growth will be distended. Maybe it is going to be it will be less, or there will be distorted growth. So वो जो है, that is possible in case of hormones. So a person suffering from thyroid may have this problem that his growth is not appropriate. और वही चीज़ अगर nervous में देखो तो there is nothing which controls the growth of the body. Hormone control can bring about specific changes and regulates metabolism, whereas nervous control does not influence chemical changes and cannot regulate metabolism. Finally, hormone control cannot be modified by learning through previous experiences. Okay, they are not very concerned with the previous experiences, whereas nervous system can be modified to some extent by learning from previous experiences. So this was about the difference between the hormonal control and the nervous control. Now we see in detail about the hormones. So hormones are secretions from the specific cells or glands in the body and are carried to all parts through blood. But this effect is produced in one or more specific parts, target organs or cells only. So you can see that they are a particular set of glands which are going to produce a particular kind of secretion, that is the hormones, and these hormones are going to be affecting only a target specified organ. It is not going to affect the whole body or all the parts of the body. It will be only some particular targeted organ which will be there, which is going to be affected by this particular hormone. So that's why it is much more specific, produces one or more specific parts. Okay, it is for one or more specific parts called as a target organ or cell only. Most hormones are secreted by special glands, the endocrine glands. Endo means inside and crine means separate, meaning secrete internally, also called ductless glands, because their secretions are poured directly into the blood and not through any special duct. So we see that hormones are normally, most of the hormones which are produced in our body, they are going to be secreted by a specific kind of a gland which will be present in the body. That particular gland is going to secrete, that's why it is called as endocrine, because it's internally secreted, and it is going to be not having any proper pathway of its own. It will be just directly ductless gland. Okay, it's a ductless gland which the hormones are going to be directly given into the blood, and it has not special ducts for it. No special ducts for it. Certain hormones are also produced from some such glands or body parts which otherwise have a different primary function, for example the stomach and duodenum. So yeah, of course it's not that all the hormones are going to be produced by only this particular kind of glands which will be separated out, but there are certain hormones which are produced such glands or body parts which otherwise are different primary functions. So you can see that there are many such organs in our body which are having double kind of function. Like for example, the pancreas, we know that the pancreas is there to give you the pancreatic juice, or because the different amylase and all. So this particular digestive juices given by the pancreas is that particular digestive part of pancreas which is going to give you the digestive juices. At the same time, the pancreas also have one more function, and that is to produce certain kind of hormones. So that's why they are given over here, that some have got different, means some of the hormones are produced by organs which has got different primary function. For example, the stomach and the duodenum. So stomach and the duodenum will be having a different function, but apart from that, they can also produce some certain hormones. Endocrine system consists of several glands or glandular cells which bring about the overall common function of chemical coordination in the body. Almost all endocrine glands act in a coordinated manner. They activate each other and work as a system of organs called endocrine system. So we can see that endocrine system, they have got several glands. There are several glands which are present in the endocrine system, and these glands are going to be acting, or they are going to be working in a coordinated manner. So it will always be in another's coordination that they are going to function, and that's why they are going to produce, and then there will be a system which activates each and every this particular organ, and that's why the whole system which is monitoring this particular whole different glands which are there in the endocrine system, that's why we call it as the endocrine system, right? So because in our body we have got many different systems, so endocrine system is something in which you are not having direct connection. ऐसा नहीं कि हाँ यहाँ से खाना गया फिर इधर गया ऐसा, it's not something like that. It is something wherein you have got different organs producing different kinds of hormones, but there is one central particular organ which is going to control the secretions which are given out by the different endocrine glands. That's why the whole system is called as an endocrine system. A system is defined as a group of organs performing an overall common function. So that's the important thing, that because the overall function of these glands is to maintain the chemical balance of the body. So that's why it is called as the endocrine system. Endocrine glands secrete certain chemicals called as hormones. Now let's see the general properties of hormones. So these are the general properties. Now when we talk about general property, means there are many different kinds of hormones which are produced in our body, but these hormones, they will be having a certain characteristic features, like it may be proteins and things like that. So that particular properties what are there, we are just going to study that. Hormones are secreted by their source, an endocrine gland, directly into the blood. So the first and foremost thing is that it is being secreted directly into the blood. It does not have its own duct, and that's why they are ductless glands. Second, they regulate the physiological processes by chemical means. They affect the enzyme system of the body. So they are going to maintain your physiological structure, okay? Your physical structure, that is nothing but the different chemicals, or you can say the constituents of the chemical constituents of your body is going to be maintained by this particular hormones, and that's why that is going to be done with the help of chemicals. So it will be chemical enzymes which are going to maintain, or they are going to keep a control over the complete chemical balance. That's why it is called as the enzyme system of the body. They affect the enzyme system of the body, right? They act on target organs or cells, usually away from their sources. So normally it is that the gland and the organ which is going to be affected by that particular hormone will be not near to each other, they will be like at a distance. So normally the target organs or the cells are a bit away from this particular source from where the hormones are being generated. Fourth point, hormones produced in one specific species usually show similar influences in other species. Now this is a very important thing. That means that if I got a hormone, let's say the human body has got a hormone insulin, and this insulin is going to take care of the glucose, okay, in the blood. The constituent glucose in the blood is going to be monitored with the help of the insulin. So this insulin will also work in another species, like another animals, like if we say a dog or a cat or an elephant. All of them will also have similar kind of an insulin in their body, which is going to do the same function, and that is to monitor the glucose level in the blood. So you can see that insulin is a particular hormone which is not only going to be present in the human body but also in other species. So that's why they will, if they are having it in the body, then they will be using it for the similar kind of purposes. So a particular hormone which is present in the different species, they will have similar functions, and that is also one of the reasons we are able to get certain hormones from animals. Like initially, the insulin which is given to a diabetes patient was taken up from the insulin of the pig. Okay, the pig के insulin pig जो insulin generate करता था उसको लेके they were using it for humans. So this was one of the method in the of producing insulin. So insulin was taken and then it was multiplied by the bacteria, and accordingly it was used. So anyway, that's a big process, but this is how it works. Fifth point, they are produced in a very small quantity and are biologically very active. For example, adrenaline is active even in a concentration of 1 part in 3 crores. I suppose it is 30 crore parts. Okay, so that is the beauty of it, that the percentage of hormone present in the body is going to be very, very, very small, and it is even at that particular small level, it works perfectly well. So that's why the monitoring of that particular hormone in the body is also very important, because over secretion of that hormone in the body also causes problems, and under secretion of that particular thing also causes problems. Because a very small quantity is required by the body, and hence the generation of that thing is very well controlled, and it is in a very minute quantity. You can understand that the adrenaline is there only, which is going to be active even at 1 part in 30 crore parts. Okay. Chemically, some hormones are peptides, proteins such as insulin, which are water soluble. Some are amines derived from amino acids such as adrenaline, again water soluble, and some are steroids derived from cholesterol such as testosterone, which are lipid soluble. So normally these hormones can be proteins, or it could be amines, or it could be even steroids. Now, there's a very important question which normally people they ask in the paper, is that why is insulin given as an injection to the diabetes patient and not taken orally? Okay, why is insulin not given as a just take a spoon में लिया और सीधा पी गए insulin? Why cannot you do that thing? It is because insulin is a protein. So if you are going to inject it in the blood, then it is going to act as insulin and do all the process, because the insulin is going to be endocrine gland जो भी insulin बनाता है, the pancreas is going to make the insulin. It is going to be directly injecting it into the blood. It is the direct जैसे वो endocrine gland का function है, that it is ductless and it is going to be directly transmitted into the blood. So similarly, insulin, when it is given in the blood, it works absolutely perfectly fine. But if it is taken orally, the body will consider the insulin as a protein and will digest the protein. So insulin will not be taken up as a medicine or an insulin. It will be taken up as a protein in a body, and it will be just acting as a protein in the body. So that's why insulin can never be taken orally. It has to be injected directly into the blood. So this is one of the give reason questions asked very many times in the examination. So that's why I thought I'll just incorporate this in this explanation. So you see that, so they could be insulin, just say it could be like proteins, or it could be like amines, which will be like the example will be adrenaline, or it could be steroids, which are going to be cholesterol or lipid soluble. Now the amines and the proteins are water soluble, that is lipid soluble, that is cholesterol based things. 7.1, their excess hypersecretion, oversecretion. Hypersecretion is called as oversecretion. Hyper jada, okay, hyper, okay, jada. So hyper secretion is over secretion, or deficiency, hyposecretion, lower, hyposecretion or under secretion. Both are may lead to serious consequences. If you have more amount of thyroxine in the body, hyperthyroxia ho jayega, and it will be a problem. Less amount, then also is a problem. So it needs a right amount of the hormones in the body. Increase, problem; decrease, be problem. Hormones are not stored in the body and are excreted from the system. So hormones, another thing is that they are not going to be stored in your body. They are just going to be excreted. Whatever is the excess thing which is there is just going to be excreted out from the body. So that's why they are not stored in the body and are excreted from the system. So accordingly, you can say that hormone is a secretion from some glandular part of the body which is poured directly into the blood and which acts on the target organ or cells of the same individual, bringing about the coordination between distant parts of the body. So this is the complete, we can say, a definition of hormone, that it is some glandular part of the body which is going to be which is the secretion from the glandular part of the body which is going to be directly poured into the blood, which acts on a target organ which is normally at a distance in the body part. So now let's start with the endocrine glands, which are going to be the part of the endocrine system. So we see that in our body there are 7 different locations where the endocrine glands are located. So there are 7 endocrine glands we can see, out of which 4 of them are going to be in your syllabus, other 3 are not going to be in your syllabus. So the principal endocrine hormone producing gland in the human body are shown. They are enumerated below. Only the ones in the bold are in the syllabus, the other one is not in the syllabus. So first is adrenal. I can see the location of adrenal, which is given over there. The bottom is above the kidney. So just above the kidney is adrenal. The next is pancreas. Pancreas, we know the pancreas is the same pancreas what is there in the digestive system. So it is just above the beyond the stomach. The thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is the butterfly kind of a gland over here in the neck. And then there is pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is near the hypothalamus. So वहाँ पे brain के नीचे in the middle part, that is the pituitary gland. The next is parathyroid. Parathyroid is near the thyroid gland, that is parathyroid. And then thymus. And finally is the gonads. So gonads are the one which are the ovaries and the testes in case of females and males respectively. So males may testes, and ovaries in case of females are the gonads, which are the endocrine glands. We shall try to explain the location and major functions of each of the 4 endocrine glands. So that's what they are given over here. All the things are very much clear in the diagram itself. Okay. We now start with the first gland, that is adrenal gland. So adrenal gland, if we see it is this way, the first one is adrenal. Now adrenal gland, अगर ये किडनी है तो किडनी के ऊपर एक triangular cap-like structure is there. So this triangular cap-like structure, what is there? This is the adrenal gland. And as usual, to any particular part there are 2 parts. The inner one is medulla and the outer one is the cortex. So accordingly, you have got two regions of the endocrine gland, the array, adrenal gland, which is the outer part is the cortex, which produces all the cortisons. So we know that cortex or the corticoids. Why corticoids? Because they are producing cortisones. They are the kind of hormones called as cortisones. And the medulla is the one which produces the adrenaline. Okay, the one which produces the adrenaline is the medulla, that is inner part of the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland are like caps above the kidney and near renal. That's why it is adrenal. Adrenal. Renal means kidney. Renal is, we know, renal artery, renal vein. So renal. Renal is nothing but the kidney. It's to kidney. Addition to the kidney. So above the kidney. So that is why that is near the kidney, that is the adrenal gland. Consider two parts, a central medulla and the periphery cortex. The adrenal medulla secretes adrenaline, also called as epinephrine and noradrenaline. Adrenaline is a hormone which prepares the body to meet any emergency situation for fight, that is to face danger, or for flight, to run away from it. Extra energy and strength is provided to the body in that situation. Extra hormone is released in the blood at the time of emotional stress. At the time of emotional stress. When excited or angry, our adrenals produce a lot of adrenaline. The gland itself is stimulated by the nerve endings of the autonomic nervous system. So the body, when it is in the condition of fight or flight. Now fight and flight, basically any emotional stress. Like for example, or it could be even excitement. Like for example, you are playing a football match. Football match के time पे you are completely geared up. कभी फुटबॉल खेलते वक्त भूख लगती है? नहीं. कभी फुटबॉल खेलते वक्त ऐसा होता है कि ओके आई नीड टू do some work या कुछ ध्यान में आता है. When you are playing some game, when you are playing any particular game or you are doing something, you normally lose your other kind of sensations, because at that time the body is in the emergency situation wherein it is ready to fight. Okay, it is ready to pump, it is geared up to fight. That is why बहुत सारे ad वगैरह में भी आता है ना, pump up your adrenaline and वगैरह वगैरह, Reebok वगैरह के issues में आता है pump up your adrenaline. क्यों? Because that is the way. The adrenaline is the one which is going to prepare you to run, prepare you to fight. Okay, so that is how the adrenaline is going to function. So adrenaline functions in a form that it can help you to ready to fight. Okay, when you are ready to fight, at that time what happens? All your strengths are accumulated. Or to flight means to run away, or to run means run from the even situations like emotional stresses. Like for example, like simple example, you are going to get your results. तो results के लेने जाने के लिए जो condition रहता है उसमें कैसा रहता है? You already stretched out, panting, perspiring. So that is, you have directly got a condition wherein your sympathetic condition of your body is going to be active. So that sympathetic condition is going to be generated. The sympathetic condition of the body is going to be coming up because of the generation of this adrenaline. The adrenaline is going to cause, it will be the cause for the sympathetic condition of your body. You can see what is going to happen in your body when the adrenaline is going to be produced at a quantity. So let's see. The first one is to the heart. Now heart beats faster and blood pressure increases. So of course you start pumping. Your thumping, heart of thumping जो हो जाता है, when it takes place. What is the advantage of this? Sends more glucose and oxygen to the muscles. See, at that time, like for example, I give you the example of playing football. So, you want more amount of energy to the muscles. You don't want the cramps to take place at that time. So, you want more oxygen, more glucose to be receiving to the muscle so that the muscle can activate, can do much better. So, that's why the heart is going to start pumping more faster, which is why we feel the effect of the sensation what will be thumping of the heart. Now, breathing center of the brain, faster, deeper breathing. Okay, you start, right? Yeah, you're panting. You're panting. Why you're panting? Because you want more amount of oxygen to be taken in by the body and more amount of carbon dioxide being thrown out from your body. So, you want more gaseous transport to be taking place. So, increase oxygenation of the blood, rapid removal of the carbon dioxide. Hence, the effect will be, sensation will be panting. Arterioles of the skin, constrict them. Less blood going to the skin means more is available to the muscles. Person turns pale. So when you are running, what happened? You're turning pale. Why? Because the blood is not reaching that skin. Because skin ko tabhi dene ka zarurat nahi hai. Why does the skin require blood at that time? Okay, it doesn't require the blood at that time. It is more important to give it to those vital organs which are fighting at that time. उन लोग के लिए वो blood जाना चाहिए. That's why the blood supply to the skin and all is reduced and the person looks pale. The arteries of digestive system, constrict them. What happens to the digestive system? I told you, तुम लोग को भूख नहीं लगती जब तुम लोग फुटबॉल खेलते हो. Why? Because the digestive system को ही blood supply जो है वो reduce हो गया. There is a constriction. The blood supply is constricted, so that's why you are not allowing that much amount of blood to pass through. So that blood to the digestive system allows more to reach the muscles. Hence, you will feel dry mouth. The only thing what you feel will be dry mouth. That's why you keep on hydrating yourself. Muscles of the body tense them. The muscles get tense, ready for immediate action, and tense feeling or shivering. Okay, like बहुत गुस्सा आ गया तो क्या होता है? We start shivering. Why we start shivering? Because बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा है तो at that time that particular control is not there. So muscle is in action. So इसीलिए कभी कोई बीच में आ गया तो मार खाएगा. So that is the condition what happens. So that is muscle are tense. Liver. Conversion of glycogen to glucose. Now body requires more glucose at that time because it requires more ATP. More ATP कैसे मिलेगा? More glucose से मिलेगा. More glucose, more respiration is required. So automatically more glucose is required. So whatever is the glycogen stored in your body is going to be getting converted into glucose because it is required for the body. So glucose available in the blood for energy production. So of course there is no sensation to the body for this particular thing. And finally, fat deposition. Conversion of fats into fatty acids. So again, इसीलिए जब भी हम लोग why do we say that we need to exercise so that our fats get burned? Because when you are exercising, at that time your fat which is deposited in the body is going to be broken down into simpler substances or fatty acids, so that the fatty acids is available in the blood and gives you for muscle contraction and also giving you energy. So overall, these are the conditions which are going to be there when adrenaline is available to the body in particular. So in addition, adrenaline also increases the clotting capacity of the blood, dilates pupil of the eye, stimulates uterine contraction during labor, that is delivery of the baby, and stimulates muscles of the hair follicles. This function is generally the same as those of sympathetic autonomic nervous system. So this was about the adrenaline. So I do one thing, I'll just end the video over here and continue in the next video with the next part, that is the cortex of the adrenal gland. Okay.